Makers, how's it going? This is Coach Wood, and we are ready for another episode of content that is geared to the young football players out there that are hustling day in and day out, trying to get to their dreams, their families, the coaches, and the fans out there. If you are joining us for the very first time, this is the Before You Go Pro channel. This is the football channel, you guys. This isn't the basketball channel. This ain't tennis. This ain't golf or pickleball. This is the football channel, all right? 7 days a week, or actually 5 days a week, because I can't do 7 days a week. 5 days a week, you can come in here, get in the huddle, and get with Coach Wood, all right? So if that's you, if you're a young aspiring football player, family member of a football player, coach, or fan, if that's you, then you're in the right spot, baby. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the content that you hear today. Also, check out the resources that we have down in the description box. I am so excited about today's topic because we constantly are talking to young athletes, to their family members, and we're bringing it back to the huddle. We're bringing it back to the huddle so you guys can utilize it and execute and make sure that you have some success, all right? Today's topic is our success comes on the front end. Our success comes on the front end, you guys. Before You Go Pro has had some very, very good success with athletes going off to college from our program, some even getting pro opportunities from our program. And when I really think about it, you guys, the success comes from how we choose the athletes on the front end. On the front end. It's no different than college football recruiting. The schools that have success year in, year out, they're getting the right prospects on the front end. All right? So what does that mean, success on the front end? What I mean by success on the front end, and it could be as an athlete as well. You're going to put in the work on the front end before you ever see anything at the finish line or at the championship podium. You're going to have to put the work in on the front end, you guys. And with our program, we do an extreme job of vetting the athletes that we allow to join Before You Go Pro. Now, for those that don't know, Before You Go Pro is more than just the weekday huddle. We're more than the content that we publish on the Locker Room Show every Thursday. We are working with athletes across the country, you guys, and we have for 2 decades now, and their families. It's a lot of emotional support in this industry, and we facilitate them getting off to amazing universities and the highs and lows that they go through when they get there. But guess what? Our athletes have success not because of me. I think we're a little piece. I think our program is a little piece of these athletes' success, yes. But the main reason why the Before You Go Pro athletes are so successful, you guys, is because we're picking the right grapes on the front end. You're going to have a delicious grape juice or wine if you pick the right grapes on the front end. So that is what we are all about. Our program is not for everybody, just like Ohio State is not for everybody. USC is not for everybody. But if those programs are going to have success, they better pick the right people on the front end, you guys. So we've had some massive success recently with our athletes. I mean, we've had athletes that are big time at the college level right now. We've got professional athletes doing some darn good things. And then, of course, we've got some great college and some great high school kids that are about to go off to college. But all of these young men were already fabulous. They were already fabulous. You are probably already fabulous. You just need the support. You need the right window. You need the guidance. You need the tools and resources to get to where you're going to go or where you want to go, you guys. So we don't do anything special with Before You Go Pro, but love and guide. But we have to have the right people on the front end. Nothing's going to be big unless you got the right people on the front end, the right team, you guys. So our athletes have been having some great success. I recently talked to a father who is enrolling his son into Before You Go Pro, an amazing 2027 athlete. Part of the reason why he's enrolling him in Before You Go Pro is because he's seen one of his teammates that's a 2026 athlete get an amazing college opportunity, and he's wondering, he found out that we don't accept everybody. We don't want everybody. A matter of fact, I call them 10 percenters. It's no different than a college recruiter coming to your high school to check out the talent at your high school. They're not looking for everybody. They're not looking for everybody, and they want to pick the right ones on the front end, you guys. Some of these NFL organizations, and they're in the draft, right? And they're picking Mendoza or Bain or whoever they're picking. They're trying to pick the right person on the front end. That's why they do their due diligence. Okay? So, whatever it is that you're trying to win with, in our case, we're trying to win by having the best crop of athletes come out of the 2027 class. I look at Before You Go Pro no different than some of these powerhouse high schools and JCs. I want our 2027 class to match their class or supersede their class. So in order to supersede whatever St. Thomas Aquinas is going to ship off next year, or whatever Modern Day is going to ship off next year to universities, if Before You Go Pro is going to exceed that, we gotta pick the right kids on the front end. So the dad was saying, hey, is my son good enough? Like, I know you only accept 10 athletes at each position. Is my boy good enough to join Before You Go Pro? I said, we already evaluated that. We wouldn't even be talking unless he passed the evaluation, because we do things on the front end. So, it's not a surprise to me when our athletes, we had 3 kids go off to FCS Tennessee State last year late. And all 3 of those boys contributed. And all 3 of those boys are promising prospects for Coach Barlow for next year. He's counting on all 3 of them. That's not a surprise to me. That's not a surprise to me, because I knew they were fabulous on the front end. They wouldn't have joined Before You Go Pro unless they were fabulous, you guys. And there's a lot of fabulous student athletes that are being placed on the back burner when it comes to college football recruiting nowadays. But all our work is done on the front end, you guys. So it's the same thing with you. If you want to have success as a student athlete and you're trying to get to some NIL dollars, you're trying to get to a pro opportunity, then guess what? You're going to have to do your due diligence and your work on the front end. But it's all going to pay off on the back. So with Before You Go Pro and the athletes we let into our amazing program, you guys, the work that we do is primarily on the front end. Once we say that, hey, that's a young man that we want to work with, that's a young man that we want to stay with his whole career until he hangs up his cleats. If we say that to a young man, then we know we got everything we need. Before we even say that, we know we got everything we need. I think that our coaches and myself are some of the best recruiters and talent evaluators in the game. So it's no different if I'm at the University of Cal Berkeley. If I'm at my alma mater, you see the helmet in the background, Boulder, Colorado, whether or not they're going to see W's on their schedule is going to be heavily dictated on the work they did on the front end. Now, it's trickier more than ever in college football. You better have some money. You better have some leverage to get some of the athletes you need on the front end. But are you even recruiting the right athletes if you do have the money to get them? That's all evaluated on the front end. Because you could have money to give an athlete, but maybe you're giving it to the wrong athlete. So you better be a great evaluator. We just see what Texas Tech's going through, right? With Brendan Sorsby. So, there's a lot of layers to winning in football. But whether you are a school trying to win, Whether you are an NFL organization trying to win, whether you are in the recruiting and mentoring and development space like us and trying to win, or whether you are an individual or a football family trying to win, do the due diligence on the front end. If you're going to win, it's going to be because what you did in the beginning of the game. All right. So hopefully that finds you well, you guys. It just sparked my conscience and my interest when the dad said, "Hey, can my son join? Like, is he good enough? Do you think he's ready? Do you you said you only accept 10? Is he good enough to be one of the Before You Go Pro 2027 class members?" And I said, we already did that. We already determined that. All of that is taken care of on the front end, which allows us to pitch our young athletes in peace. We pitch our athletes in peace. When we pitch our athletes, if the school doesn't take them, I think it's their loss. And that's how it turns out a lot of times. We've had athletes that we pitched to coaches in programs, and they didn't take them, and the opponent took them, and it cost them. That's how we believe in our athlete, but we knew that on the front end, you guys. We had the only ACC dual all first team player, and Jacob De Jesus, who comes from our program. We knew he was a dog on the front end way back in the day, you guys. So we are so excited for what we have built and what we are building. But a lot of the success of our athletes, you guys, comes from just picking the right athletes. That's why I don't get why some of these schools struggle so much. Just pick the right athletes on the front end. All right. So hopefully that finds you well, baby. This is my weekend that I'm heading into, depending on when you're watching this. Have a great weekend. If you're catching this in the middle of your week, then kick some butt this week. But I'm Coach Wood. Hit that subscribe button. And also check out what we have for you down in the description box. I'll see you at the top.